When I was little, my father was famous. He was the greatest samurai in the empire. He cut off the heads of 131. Hey, everybody. All right. Nice to see you guys. Let's get this hangout going, this little live stream of mine. Let me turn off this music here. Let's see. Let's get a little chat going so I can see if you guys can hear me. I'm not sure if you can or not. I'm not sure if I got this microphone set up correctly. So let's check this out. Let's see what we got. Excuse me while I go through a few motions. Get this up and going. Let's check it out. Streaming now. Looks like it's working pretty good. Alrighty. Let's go to the control room. See if we have anybody sitting in the chat. All right, we got a few. Okay. Hey, Jesse. Nice to see you. I happen to know Jesse personally, so that's kind of cool. Don't normally get people I actually know up on here. It's going pretty good. Ricochet, Tin Man, nice to see you. Is there a 10-second delay? I don't know. How are we doing? Is there a delay on me? I think I'm doing all right. All right. Cool. Nice to see. All right. I'm gonna move this window over so I can keep track of the chat and get you over this way. All right, folks. Let's see. Let's first off, let's see who's in the room. Anybody has anything they want to talk about right off the bat before I get started on topics that I planned on. It's been a little bit. I was planning on doing an official review of the Avengers film because I am a big nerd. I haven't had a chance to do that. I haven't done a Black Panther one. It's out on DVD. It's out on Blu-ray now. I'll probably do a review of that in the next week or so. Who we got here? We got Slam Slime gameplay. Live stream is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cut down on the amount of time I spend on the comment threads. So what I do is I take a select number of comments that I got throughout the week and I respond to them here. And anything that happened during the week that I felt like commenting on, and I just kind of stream of consciousness do this. Mark, hey, Steve Steele, M. Blacktree, Chuber, Matthew, hey, what's up? How many we got in the room? Cannot tell. Love Infinity War. So, I probably should have put spoiler alert in the description because if you're here, you're acknowledging that you're willing to hear spoilers. That's just the way it goes. This guy, his name was Jerry Williams. I said, howdy. He said, hi. That's funny. Let's see. Never got to see how Thanos got the first Infinity Stone. Hey, what's up, Christian? At some point, we need to get you in on here because Christian actually probably lives, 10 miles away from me, 10, 15 miles away. And we've actually never met. We've just been talking this way. Who else is in the room? I'm running a little bit behind getting my stuff together. I was trying to get all my questions put together, but I had forgotten that today was I was being a judge at a science fair. My son, his old elementary school had a science fair that I ran for years. I think 3 or 4 years I ran that science fair. And so even though my son has moved on to another school, I like to go back and kind of keep the kids encouraged. It's always great to see these young kids, kindergartners up to 5th grade, doing these science projects, trying their best to learn the scientific method, piquing their curiosity. It's a great thing. So if you ever get a chance, if anybody ever gives you the opportunity to inspire kids by being a part of a science fair, even if you're just you don't have any kids, do it. You'll be thankful you did. Angels change the light bulbs. All right. Let's see. So where are you at, Christian? Where are you located? For some reason, I thought you were over in San Francisco. For those of you who don't know, I'm in Oakland, right across the bay from San Francisco. Uh, Steve Steele, your father worked at NASA. Sure. Hit me up privately. Maybe we can discuss. Everyone seems to think I'm some type of NASA shill that somehow I get Discovery Bay, but the fact is I've never worked for them. I don't get my information from them. I'm just a science enthusiast in my own right. Uh, Florida. People shout out where you're from, so just so I can see where I'm going. How far out here? For those of you who are looking at this on a rebroadcast, later in the week, I will. Those of you overseas have been talking about the time difference. What I think I'll do is I'll probably do another one of these on Sunday mornings, probably about 7 or 8 a.m. my time. That's what do I think I'm +8 GMT or something like that. And so you guys can plan on that. I'll figure it out and I'll announce it. So you guys can get a chance. So I think that'll be around 2 or 3, yeah, 3 in the afternoon for you folks. I think that'll be better. Yeah. But if Christian says what and miss church, that's right. For me, missing church actually just means not getting up and getting a workout in, because or something, because that's what I prefer to do, or get to the studio and hit the bag. Yeah, let's see. We got Wisconsin, we got Tennessee, in Georgia, from Maine. As long as you don't stream on Thursdays between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Los Angeles time. Okay, is there something specific going on during that time, AJS, that I should be avoiding? Familiar Soldier 82. That is the $10,000 question. Why do people believe in something so stupid as a flat Earth? By the way, is there anyone on here that actually does support the flat Earth theory? Anybody in the comment threads? Because I'd like you to call yourself out, so we can maybe get your questions. I want to look out for you. Hey, what's up, James? Nope. Queensland. Okay. Yes, yes, theory. I put theory in quotes. It's more like a flat Earth notion, flat Earth faith statement, flat Earth dream, something like that. But it's not any true theory whatsoever. Yeah, Jesse, you can argue with flat earthers all you want. I try my best not to actually argue with flat earthers. The fact is, look, I'm not going to convince any flat earther to change their mind. They don't want to. That's not what they're about. They're about being part of a special club that knows things that other people don't, and they're going to stick to it. So it's convincing them isn't the thing. What I'm trying to do is put information out there so other people can find it. Tools, like I said, information out there, so that people who are young, curious, that are just going to the internet, they're in the internet more than they're in school, and that's where they get their information. They come here and they start searching these questions because a friend of theirs told something and their friend is kind of convincing. I want them to have something out there that's of balance, and calling out the things that they're saying. Flat Earth is testable, and it has failed. That's who said that? I think was that Mark? Yes. Flat Earth is testable. It has been tested. It has failed the test. Big Pig Slapper Oink. Hey, it's Slappy's in the house. Excellent. I'm glad we do actually have someone here. How you doing, Big Pig? See, Big Pig just doesn't flow, man. I can't say Big Pig on a regular basis, and I'm not going to say the full name. So that's just this is the way it is. Okay, so Big Pig Slapper is going to be arguing amongst you folks in the comment threads. Have fun. In general, I found that Big Pig Slapper Oink is not really interested in having a conversation. He wants to make speeches and make challenges. I assume you're a he. I haven't checked your channel, but since most of you guys are he's, I'll just go with that assumption. You're about pontificating, making challenges, and calling people out. But I saw you a mile away. You came here first, and you were puffing your chest out, showing your ass from day one, and I saw who you were, and so you're just not interesting. It was like too obvious. You're a little too thirsty. So I really don't have time for you, Big Pig. Yeah, you can call him Mike if that's what you want. Okay, so I'm gonna let's see. Let's talk about. Let me look at a couple comments that came in throughout the week. I'll pop in every so often, but I'm going to address a few things that came up throughout the week. Let me put this over here so I can keep reading the threads while you do that. And I'm going to share my screen. You guys are hilarious. Let's see. Let's try to stick away from the dead air. It's getting to saving the screen. All right. Okay. So just Kate's, I just happen to like this picture. This took place when I was in DC last summer. And I was training for a bell test coming up, I believe. And so what I was doing is every day I would go out in front of a national monument and practice my forms, work out on the concrete or the marble, because that's how I like to train. In Silat, the martial art I work with is called Silat, and we train on either hardwood or concrete. Padded floors aren't encouraged because the real world doesn't have padding for the most part. If you're going to fall, you're going to fall on concrete. So we train on concrete. Marble is great. I love the way it felt. So this was me training in front of the White House. And while I was there, this gentleman who was doing his own documentary came up, and he's French, and so he wanted to take some photos and kind of do like little mock sparring as if he was fencing. And we got some photos together. He was a great guy, and it was kind of cool just to be in front of the White House with this guy dressed up as, I can't remember what his character was, some historical character as a former slave that went to France. And so we had a good time. And I thought this was a great picture. So that's what this one is here. I just thought I'd have something up there. I'm actually, right now, I'm not even I saw, why are you avoiding me, Sapien? Right now, I'm on my own thing right now, Slappy. So have fun over there. Things that happen throughout the week. Have you guys seen this video? I'm assuming everyone has seen this video. Just wanted to give you guys a chance to. At some point we'll talk about your martial art. That's cool. Yeah, this video hit on Saturday, and it's been blowing up. I saw Glover perform this Saturday. You hated the video. Let me know why you hated the video. I saw Glover perform this song on Saturday Night Live, and there was something about the song that I liked, but there was something about it that I found missing. There was something lacking about it, and I couldn't tell what it was. Like, Saturday Night Live is terrible audio mixing. Let's see. Yeah. But so I thought that might have been it. But when it came down to it, I think since it was network TV, they had really watered it down for what the song was trying to say. I am not a fan of the kind of this trap style, kind of low ball, ignorant rap that he was emulating in this video, which I thought it was. I thought it was a good use of it for the message he was putting out. And I don't know if in my old studio downstairs, I had a lot of black memorabilia that had a lot of the imagery that he was going for here. with the way Black people are portrayed in the media, the way they portray themselves, the way they perpetuate stereotypes, the way they um, coon and dance for acceptance, and it still doesn't get them what they need, and they don't get the respect that they think they're going to get. So that's one thing I took out of that video, especially at the end when he's being chased down by the crowd, is like, no matter how much he did to kind of distract people from the real world and from the violence and the pain and suffering in the community by dancing in front of people and getting the kids to dance and ignore the things that are around them, in the end, it still caught up to him, and they were still chasing him down. So that's one thing I took away for Infinity War. Okay, let's get into Infinity. How many of you saw that movie? If you've seen the movie, let me know. Where to begin? I wish I had written down everything that happened in this one. I'm an old school comic book guy. Okay. Yes, spoilers. So many of you have said you haven't seen it. Okay. Sorry. Which great stuff. Spoiler time. Time ready to go. Is it cool for me to talk about this? Because if not, I'll just respond to you guys in the thread. Because if it's going to be a problem, I don't want you guys to feel that you need to leave if you don't want to hear spoilers. Yes, this is a Schoolhouse Rock t-shirt. Yeah, I was at a school today. Okay. Screw the ones that didn't see it. All right. Not seeing the wait for TV talk about wait for TV talk about family. Okay, cool. All right. Actually, how do I get people on this thing? I was thinking about actually inviting a few of you in here to have a conversation. I haven't done that before. Yeah, I'm known for my t-shirts. I think on Sunday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. I'll open up the Hangout I'll put a link up so then you guys can actually log in and we can actually have conversations. I'm not set up for that right now. Family's just trying their best to stay quiet in the other room and ignore the things I'm saying. Can I hold up okay, I will do so. I will go all clear when I'm done talking about it. But on Sunday morning, I'll open up the Hangout and we can actually have conversations, and some of you guys can come in. And maybe if Big Pig Slapper shows up, he can pop in there too. Infinity War. Okay. I'm an old school comic guy, so I knew what was going to happen. I read Infinity War, I read Infinity Gauntlet, I read Thanos Quest. I knew, all of those 25 years ago, whatever it was. So I saw that coming. But what I thought was going to be interesting was how they went about doing it. It wasn't going to be a surprise that it was going to happen the way it did. But it took 2 hours. It was a 2-hour movie to have Loki as a bad guy. It was a 2-hour movie to have Ultron on as bad guy. I knew that this was not going to be, a 2-hour movie and they were going to defeat Thanos. It wasn't going to happen. Did I read Warlock by Starlin? Yes, I did. I read almost all of Starlin's work. Warlock, was it, what was the one? This last one, the real weird space one. I can't remember it. But yes, love Starlin's work. Did great job. I think it was Ron Lim that was doing the art on Thanos Quest, maybe back in the day. If I'm right on that, some of you guys will tell me if I'm right or wrong. Having a direct conversation with me is really difficult, Detonation, because you're streaming by so fast. I just get bits and pieces here. Dreadstar, that was the one. Dreadstar was great. Gilgamesh 2, I think it was. Gilgamesh 2 was, I think, one of the last ones he did before he kind of just stopped doing comics on a regular basis. Great stuff. He had a great style. Very blocky. He always his forms were always kind of rectangular. His jaw lines were always very angular, but still a real strong design style. Love his work. Put a slow mode for the chat. How do you do slow mode on this chat? I'll set that up next time. I think it's but like I said, I was running behind today, so I didn't set up the chat properly. You like Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, it's kind of like 30% a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, 30% Thor movie, and 40% pure Thanos. So like I said, I knew everything that was pretty much going to happen, but I wasn't sure how it was going to be executed. So that was great. It started off really strong, demonstrating Thanos as a bad guy. I thought they did a great job. Yes, of establishing his cred right off the bat. I'm still talking spoilers right now, but the fact that they had him put a whoop on the Hulk right off the bat, I thought was great. The fact is, he did actually have the Power Stone already, so you could always kind of say, well, hey, look, he already been powered up. But putting the whooping on the Hulk within the first 5 minutes was roller disco. That's funny. Was a great establishment of his power, and then Heimdall, Loki, those right there just sealed him as an excellent threat. They had a heavy lift with this movie. They had set Thanos up for a long time. Sorry, Dead Nation, you're going to hear some things. This is Infinity War. They had set up Thanos for a long time as this big bad without actually showing him doing anything. He was just a guy who talked from a chair. So what they had to do right off the bat was to establish his cred. And by having him take out the Hulk, beat down Thor, take out Heimdall, see through Loki's schemes, and take him out within the first 5 to 10 minutes, was their way of doing it. I thought it was great. Do I think they're ever going to tie Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Defenders to Marvel movies? Oh, I hope so. My friend of mine, Jamil Hempel, he kind of wrote out a quick scenario of how he wished they had integrated the Defenders into the movie, and the way he envisioned it was Spider-Man being taken off to go out in space, and being concerned that, oh, what's going to happen to Aunt May, and what's going to happen to my family, and having Stark say to him, don't worry, New York's being defended, and like cutting to the Defenders, like just, in the middle of Hell's Kitchen, just taking out bad guys, just for a quick passage, just to give them their due, just for a quick minute. And I think that would have been great, but I think it's probably also the way things are scheduled. Luke Cage was probably filming at the same time. Same thing with when they're setting up Daredevil. That was probably just something that they couldn't do. Why is Infinity War in the movie's only a few hours long? Because it took a long time. Mark of the Beast. Oh, government shill. Okay. Hey, Mark of the Beast. It's nothing like being called a government shill right off the bat. It's always fun. Let's see. I'm gonna give an all clear to those of you who were worried about spoilers, because we seem to have some visitors on the thread who are you guys? Do we have flat earthers on the line? Anybody? Give me a thumbs up if you're a flat earther. Even if it's what do I think Doctor Strange? Okay, so it's not quite clear. What do I think Strange is up to? I think he saw exactly what was happening. He saw 14 million something combinations, 60 million combinations of what the possible futures were going to be, and he saw one that was where they'd be victorious. I think he saw exactly what was going to happen, and he knew he had to let Thanos win in order for him to eventually lose. That's my thought. Lucifer. Okay, thumbs up from Lucifer. Okay. Oh, I thought you. Come on, teasing me like that. So that's what I think it was up. What's up with Doctor Strange? Because there was no way he would save Tony Stark. He doesn't like him. He wouldn't do things in order to save Stark unless he thought it was absolutely necessary. Speculate recklessly on details. Yes. Uh, let's see what. So there were a number of Hollowworth educated. I don't know about Hollowworth. It's an old theory. There were a number of deaths in that movie that I think are going to be reversed, but there are a number of them that are not, and I think some of them are then going to end up dying again anyway. They're not. They're not going to reverse the whole thing. Who worked on Doctor Strange? GKG Custom. What did you do? I'm interested. So you like my intro? Thank you very much. At some point, maybe I'll get my buddy Iceberg from Vegas on here. He's a great music producer, tremendous artist. Adam Warlock. Not until Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That's when Adam Warlock will show up. Visual effects, excellent. Who do you work for? Unless you don't want to put that out there. DKG Custom. So what was I was answering about all jokes aside, you're too smart for these ignorant. Yeah, I sometimes I do think I need to focus my energy on those things. I am planning on a series of videos that are more tutorial based, kind of instructional videos for basic science, less argumentative about specific things. See you, Justin. Oh, you're freelance. About specific arguments that flat earthers make or anything like that. But I've noticed that there are common errors that are made by people online, basic misunderstandings of science, scientific claims. So what I call a common thread science. And so I'm planning a series of videos that are basically correcting basic claims that are always made in the common threads. I call it common thread science. Look for it soon. I just have someone working on a theme song for me. So once that's done, we'll be able to get going. So I'm sorry, any flat earthers on there? I have comments that were made online that I can get to, and I want to get to those. But if anyone that's on the thread has a direct question, I'd like to make those priority. Like moon causing tides. Yes. Is that a question? Cosmic strings, whether or not the moons cause the tides, they cause part of the tides. Do I make my own thumbnails? Yes. Christian, the Morgile did answer my video. He apparently made a 4-hour rebuttal that I skipped through. It's as inane and boring as you can imagine. He did 4 hours trying to rebut the things I said about his idiotic claims, and it's just more of the same, but somehow stretched out. It's like 4 hours and 20 minutes. It's insane. Mark of the Beast, fiction and non-fiction on here. No one knows. What are you referring to, Mark of the Beast? It seems just like a random. Why is gravity curve space, but magnetism isn't? Well, we can't. At least I am not in a position to make a direct claim that gravity absolutely is curved space. It obviously it seems to have an effect of curving space, but whether or not saying it is curved space is different. You can say that we may be able to say factually that it does curve space, but to say it is curved space is something that is generally still argued. If part of if a particle component to gravity is ever discovered, then that might that would put it all into a different realm with like the graviton that people would love to have exist. If that was ever discovered to exist, that would change the concept of what gravity is in terms of whether or not it is curved space. Yes, the Morgul does speak slow. Sometimes I speak too fast. I understand that. Mark Alquist, did you have a comment about gravitons? What did I think of the flat earther and his steam powered rocket? That was awesome. I'm glad he didn't hurt himself. That's all I can say about that. Yeah. Somebody's talking about Nathan Thompson. I had an encounter with Nathan Thompson online. I don't know. He commented on something of mine, and then he invited me to his Facebook channel. So I got on his. I became part of his Facebook group just to ask some general questions. And either that, or I can't remember, or maybe I tried to post, and then I had to ask him for permission to get on it because he only accepts people, that way. And so I got on this Facebook group, and I started having exchanges with people, and most of the time they were just, the same way that Big Pig Slapper is, and got nowhere. I think I posted my 11 questions up there. And then one day he started talking about how the Holocaust didn't exist and things like that. And I don't have time for that. I had to just quickly step away from that website, even though I was a member just so I can have conversations with flat earthers. Once he started endorsing Holocaust denial, I had to go away. So yeah, Nathan Thompson, flat earther, Holocaust denier, fucker. So no time for that. Let's see. I've got a monkey paw. Yeah, monkey paw. Belmar Bulahan, where are you from? Oh, by the way, I got my my dreads done the other day. Looking sharp. Taking 10 years off my life. Looking young. Let's see. Hey, look. Are you going to take a screenshot? You want me to look at the camera like I'm pissed off with a flat earther? Or are you going to take a screenshot of me looking this mean? Okay, it's for anybody who wants that. Just let's see. Don't all conspiracy theories eventually end up with the Jews? It seems like it. It seems like they all end up with talking about the Jews, and I don't think it's any secret. I have it as a call out word in my spam filter. Anybody that mentioned just says Jews in their comment, it automatically gets flagged so I can look at it, because there's generally no reason to talk about Jewish people or Jews unless you're about to talk some shit. That's just generally it. So, hey, hi Belmar. Do I have a weaponized baby cart? That's a reference to Baby Cart. It's Lone Wolf and Cub, but the first Lone Wolf and Cub was called Baby Cart something. I can't remember what it was called. Yes, I love that movie. Let's see. Happy early birthday. Thank you. My birthday's on Wednesday. Serious shows you. Oh, this is not actually all of mine. A lot of it's my wife's music collection. She has a great and varied taste in music, so keep it here. How long have I been a practitioner of Silat? I think 7 years. I was boxing. I was doing boxing most of my life. That was always kind of my main thing. But as you get older, boxing wears and tears on your body. So I found this school here in the Bay Area. It was in Oakland, and it's, even though it still wears and tears on my body, it also kind of hardens it in a way that I think is really preparing me to be an old man. Preparing for life when the body starts breaking down. Like think like a young man, but you train to be old. You really should train to be old. I plan on being around for a while, so I had to start changing my training techniques to come up with something that I thought would last longer. And yes, that boxing banner is me. I try to most of the things I have art wise, I try to make them self generated, just so I'm not just taking other people's stuff. You went from boxing to judo. I still love to box. I love sparring. There's something about getting hit that's very clarifying. Judo's not so much a what I think of Black Panther movie. I was thinking about talking about that on Sunday, but I saw the Black Panther 5 times in the theater. Does that tell you what I thought about the Black Panther movie? I've never seen a movie 5 times in the theater since maybe Empire Strikes Back. So that's what I thought of that movie 5 times in the theater. Do I think Bill Cosby is innocent? I'm sure he's innocent of something, but not in this case. I think he's guilty. Let's see. Silat here in Barbados. Excellent. So is Paramount Silat is sorry for hitting the microphone there. Is that a hard style? Is that a soft style? Yin yang. Is it a hard style or a soft style? I'm curious. My day was good. I spent the day, Ridion. I spent the day judging a science fair with elementary school kids, and it was awesome. I love doing that. Just makes you feel good doing things like that. Please explain to Gary why he's wrong. I didn't see what Gary said, John. So I'm if you want to look into that. Jeet Kune Do, I would look into Jeet Kune Do if I liked people that practice Jeet Kune Do. There's a little too much of a cult of Bruce Lee involved with those I've met that are yes. Wiesta Nawir. Sorry for butchering your name. I am an American. I suck at names, so sorry about that. But yes, you can ask questions. Hopefully I'll see them. Let's see. Let's see. You box too? Yeah. No. I do Silat, and I don't box as much anymore. And I teach self-defense classes. I like practical self-defense. I think it's very important. Do I work in video production? But do I work in video production? No, I have, and I know about video production, so I use it a lot, but I don't do that for a living. I mean, it comes up, jack of all trades sometimes, you have to do it. But did any kids present proof of flat Earth? No. But my son did a science fair project a couple weeks ago for his school. And I was very proud of him. He did a really good job. So what he loves flat earthers. He thinks they're hilarious, by the way. So what he did was he did a model emulating the tides, the gravitational tides with the moon, but he used magnets and ferrofluid. And it came out pretty good. He tried to make more of a 3-dimensional thing, but there was no way to get it was just too fine-tuned. So we came up with this other method of doing it. But we're actually entering it into the county science fair. But it came out really good. He made a little, miniature Earth and a magnet, a little spinner guy that kind of moves a magnet around the center Earth, which has ferrofluid around it, and it gets drawn to it. So it's a model. So it was more of in the engineering category. And it came out really good. I was proud of him. So, and it also gave me an idea. So there's something that I might come up with. Can we Skype for 5 minutes? Not today, but maybe we'll set something. I don't know what time zone you're in, Westa, Nawir. But on Sunday, I think about 7 a.m. my time, Pacific time in California, 7 a.m. in California, I'll be doing another one, and I will open it up. I'll put up a link so people can uh, sign in and talk to me directly. So maybe if you can do that. So what time? What's the time difference in Belgium? Uh, it's 5:30, 5:40 in the morning now. So that'd probably be what, 2:30 in the afternoon if it was 7 a.m. for me, 2 in the afternoon. So that might be good for you. Might try it then. Uh, yes. Getsuga mentions the raid movies. So any of you who don't know what C-Lot is, there are different styles. And sorry, I didn't see whether or not you said your C-Lot was a hard style or a soft style. But there's a Penshot C-Lot or Pencat C-Lot, which is a very hard style. It's a military style. And then there are softer styles. I'm training to be an old man, so I'm doing a softer style, which is more of a mix. The school I work with, which is Persatuan Garak Badan in Indonesia, it's a mixture of both hard and soft styles. And the Raid, people want to know what Silat is. The movie Raid Redemption. They were doing Pencat Silat, the hard style. A lot of the same things, but it's really meant to be done with like blades, hard impact elbows, very, very brutal stuff. That movie changed fight scenes for all action movies after that. There are certain types of fight scenes that happen before the raid, and there are fight scenes that happen after the raid, and there are definite differences in the way fight choreographies did movies after the raid came out. The raid improved fight scenes in movies. Amazing work, very influential. Small movie, but changed fight scenes for a long time. Let's see. Anybody have a question? Yes, the Ong Bak movie is Tom Gong. Not in a while. Nate Rivers asking if Kung Fu is applicable. Well, it all depends on what you are doing. Kung Fu itself can be, but it's more. There's a difference, and anybody else has a different idea. There's a difference between what I like to call martial arts and martial craft. Martial art is is more of a dance. It's about, it's very personal. It's about balance, and it's much more cooperative and more of a dance style. When you spar with somebody in martial arts, generally you don't hurt each other because that's not the point of it. Yeah, let's we're not calling people names, I guess. We're just gonna get rid of that guy there. But then what I like to consider like the martial craft, which is the applicable stuff. And there are a lot of things that you can pull from Kung Fu and pull from Silat specifically that are very applicable because it was meant to be a military. A lot of it was meant to be a military style combat, so it can be very applicable. And also it depends on the person and how you decide to. You're going. Yes, yeah. Martial arts it's about discipline. It's about balance. It's about longevity. It's about a lot of different things. It's not about fighting. Okay, someone keeps trying to name call on my thread, and I'm just going to keep blocking it. That would whose White House am I? And flipping off. That would be, well, it was done last year. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Trumps. Oh, well, the one Trump. The other ones I don't care about. I'm sure my just by saying that, a lot of my subs are just going to go like because people on the internet generally. Martial does mean war. Yes, but then there's the art aspect of it. So I think there's a difference. Team Skeptics on here. Man, how do you do it? Oh, you guys were on for like 5 hours the other day. I think I was listening in for 2.5 of it. uh, I have not collaborated with Team Skeptic. At some point, I will hit them up. I listened in on their live stream the other day while I was at work. I was busy, but I kept them on, and I swear it was 5 hours, dude. Right? It was something like a 5 hour live stream with somebody named Pete, who was madness personified. I could barely listen. It was you folks. You say that that I have tremendous patience. This dude would have tried my patience. It tried Team Skeptic's patience like nobody's business. Some of them actually were kind of going off. Let's see. Oh no, yeah, that's I'm not actually attacking. Troy Henry says he doesn't care if I hate Trump, but I feel personally about the symbol I'm attacking. I'm not actually attacking the symbol. I'm actually flipping off the person. That there is a difference. But at the same time, symbols are symbols. They're for a reason. They have effect, and yeah, there's a lot of symbols that get attacked for different reasons. Thank you, and Black. Yeah, there's no way I could have ever voted for Trump. Let's see. Between you and Wolfie Sly, now Team Skeptic. There's Wolfie, there's Sly, there's Team Skeptic, there's a few others. Honestly, I get a lot of play. I get a lot of subs. I think it's because of my style and the way I talk about things, and I'm kind of free and I kind of have a gift of gab. But seriously, the type of content that Team Skeptic comes up with, that Sly comes up with, that Wolfie comes up with, is just Reds. They're top notch content. I like to take apart the way people think. That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the processes that people go through when they're putting an argument forward, and how their critical thinking breaks down. Oftentimes, it sounds terrible. Oftentimes, you don't have to get into the weeds of specific facts because they're walking down bad logic alleys. They're just going down the wrong route. And I'm more interested in the way people think and why they think that way and where their thinking went wrong. And so that's the angle I take. I don't know if that seems to appeal to people, so I tend to get a lot of subs, but I don't know. I haven't really looked into Team Skeptic's background. And maybe you can put it up there. But they had a conversation about was it quantum states or something the other day, and I'm like, these dudes know their business. Okay, the math they're doing on the fly, and I'm pretty good at math, but the kind of stuff that they were discussing on the fly was some really deep stuff in terms of like knowing their subject matter. So I'm incredibly impressed by that. The visual representations that Sly comes up with to explain concepts and to debunk and pull apart the experiments that other people have done by using the tools that he has access to is excellent. He's a great job. Team Skeptic, you love quantum mechanics. I love it too, but it's like most people in the world, it's beyond me. I can only skim the surface of it. I'm one of those people that if someone says they know about quantum mechanics, most of the time they don't. So I never really claim to know it because I understand a lot of what I would say would be just bullshit. And then Wolfie, the amount of experience he has on these different subjects, hands-on experience working with the type of equipment is amazing. And and all of these guys should have a lot more subs and get a lot more play than they do. So I'm glad you guys are here. I hope if you're not already subbing those guys, why are you subbing me and you're not subbing them? It doesn't make any sense to sub me and not sub them because their content is more consistent and more solid, in my own personal opinion. Yes, Wolfie, yeah, he's a beast. I'm glad he's on our team. Someone had asked the question up. Let me scroll back because I missed it. It was very direct. It might have been a martial question. I think there was a martial arts question up there. I didn't quite see it. So sorry about that. Live debate is worthless. A lot of times it is. You can't debate with how do Team Skeptic, if you can throw links up to some folks. Oh, and what was his name? Little dude, Blue Marble. I couldn't find Blue Marble. Blue Marble was like 14 years old. Was having a great conversation with you guys, trying his best to hold his own with you big brains in there. But I couldn't find Blue Marble. If it's possible for you to drop a link to that young person, I would love to check their channel out and encourage them. Like I said, you weren't here earlier. I was doing a science fair today and just trying my best to encourage the young people. And so I want to keep encouraging Blue Marble. Let's see. I think debating flat earthers is debating online is mostly pointless. You can't debate with people who actually don't have any respect for the rules of logic, evidence, having any type of standards. You can't debate with them. And it's happened with creationists. It happens with flat earthers, moon landing deniers, whatever. They can go online and download 300 random claims about anything. They can be real claims. They can just make stuff up off the top of their head. They may not even understand what the thing that they downloaded says, but you can get in a debate with them and they will just say, well, what about this study that said blah, 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 blah. Well, you don't know if that study exists. You don't know if it's real. You don't know if they're reading it right. That you don't know if they even understand it, but they can look it up and then they can throw it at you and you can say, I'm not exactly sure. It's like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. And so that's what it makes it useless. When you hold yourself to a standard and your opponent doesn't hold themselves to a standard, it's just a recipe in disaster. It's just nothing's going to be achieved. Team Skeptic, new to the scene, only been here for 3 months. And you get what, 1,200, 1,400 subs? You're doing great stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing more from you. Hey, GreaterSapien, what is your opinion of recent UK convention where 3 physicists? I saw that at least part of it with the 3 physicists talking to the 3 flat earthers, and it was quite frustrating because I could see through what the flat earthers were talking about. And I thought it was very interesting that the video stopped where it did. At least the one I saw was right after this discussion of the LIGO sensor data for gravitational waves, and the flat earthers were making a very flawed argument, but it sounded sensible, and it seemed to be taking the physicists off guard because I don't think they could quite hear what they were. I don't think they were quite picturing what the flat earther was claiming. And I have the luxury of rewinding, and I can kind of see, it's like, oh, that's what they're saying, and they were just off track. And so I thought it was interesting that they stopped right there when it seemed like the flat earthers had a little bit of the upper hand, and all of a sudden the video was over. So, saw that one. Let's see. So anybody else have any questions? Like I said, I have a few comments. Didn't have an opportunity to check out No, I haven't had the chance to check out that flat Earth core work that you sent me, Christian. A couple other people did. I'm interested in looking at it just to see how they went about it. Obviously, they were very professional in their presentation, but I don't know how they were in their actual execution of their experiment. Yeah, we can't really trust our senses. yeah, I have no doubt, Team Skeptic, that you would have destroyed those guys. Yeah. it's it was pretty bad. Let's see. Cool Hard Logic. Yes, Cool Hard Logic. I haven't. I honestly don't do a lot of YouTube's like surfing for different videos. I tend to just go to my channel, look at the comments, check out a link that someone's given me, but I don't go hunting down to see what other people. Uh, why has Flat Earth becoming so popular? I think it's because it gets a lot. It sells advertising. You know, the algorithms notice that there's a little bit of a trend going with it, and they get promoted, and thus it keeps going. Let's see. I don't understand what that question is there. Let's see. 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. Should you go to bed? Yeah, you should go to bed. It's 5 a.m. You should not be up. Is that your globe question? Okay, they're going by pretty quick here. Nate Shadow one trail recorded throughout a day. Okay, I'm going to pull up a couple questions that do my videos get demonetized? Only a couple. You know, if I like swear a few too many, like the one I did about the type of censorship I do on the offensive things, that one got demonetized. But for the most part, since I don't use a lot of offensive language and I keep to the same music, I don't use other people's music. I keep the stuff from my buddy Iceberg. I don't get any copyright dings. And so I've only had a couple of them demonetized, but most of mine are still up and going. So that's helpful. Yeah, that's one reason why I don't Patreon. It's like, you guys are coming, you're watching the videos, you're promoting them. I'm getting some clicks. I get a tiny little thing from Google, or YouTube once a month. You guys don't need to pay out for that kind of thing. Why do you keep trying to do that one there? You're not getting monetized yet. Oh, yeah. I didn't start. Well, let's see. I've been doing these videos for 8 years. For the first 7 years, I had at most I had 1,000 subscribers. And then sometime in November, my 11 questions flat earthers are afraid to answer started getting promoted by the algorithm. It went from having being 6 months old and having 2,000 views to every week getting 5, 10, 15,000 more. And then all of a sudden the subs started coming in, and then in the first 8 years I got maybe $100 out of Google. Now maybe 200 tops. And then all of a sudden, whatever happened in the algorithm, they started everything else started to get more hits and more hits. And so now I'm getting, a little bit, not enough to pay bills, but enough to at least, pay for, a half decent microphone, things like that. Let's see. Well, they should have subbed to me a long time ago, but at the same time, I was fairly inconsistent. I was putting out, videos, and I still do. I only put out videos when I feel like it. But I tend to feel like it more and more now. But I only put out videos if I think I have something else to say. If everyone's making a video about something, I don't feel the need to make a video on it because it's just being repetitive. If I have a turn on it, an angle on it that I think isn't being spoken to, then I'll make a video on it because I like that extra information out there. But I never just made videos for the sake of making videos. And so, they came out few and far between, and no reason for people to sub when they're not seeing anything from me. I don't remember that quote, Mike O. Let's see. Yeah, cool. All right. I'm going to pull up a couple things here. Bell, you're back. Yes, people unite to talk about people who are dumber than them. Let's pull up a couple things here. Excuse me while I do a little work. All right. Let's see. Why don't real scientists speak up and end this? Someone asked. Well, there's something to be said for not giving an air of legitimacy to people who shouldn't be on the same bus as you. It's just in their mind, there's no argument to be made. So there's why make the argument. Even in my mind, I'm not actually trying to make the argument that, oh my God, they need to be convinced that the Earth is round. The Earth is round, people. I don't. My job isn't to convince flat earthers that the Earth is round. They can believe what they want. But I do want to make sure the information is out there. It's not. It's against the prime directive. People, people who are, doing things in the world, NASA, other space agencies, scientific departments, they have things to do. So why would they? Hi, person, why are you trying to say the same offensive thing over and over and over again? Okay, so let's pull this up. So screen share. Share that right there. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so some of you folks can see up some of the. Sorry about that. My mouse is a little too sensitive right now. All right. So this is the type of. So there's a comment that I got earlier this week. And I'm sure you get these types of arguments all the. Any of you who try to have a discussion with a flat earther get this type of discussion all the time. Hold on a second. Let me do this here. There you go, Team Skeptic. So was this TJ? I hope I told you, TJ, to check in on this because I wanted to talk to you here. It's up to you to prove that there is a southern globular pole than just assuming it is a foundational starting point. This is where globals fail. Blah 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 blah. Okay, this was a comment that was made on my one proof to rule them all video. I find it interesting when flat earthers make this type of comment on that video, because I don't know if you remember that video, but I mentioned in that video there being a southern celestial pole and how that was an argument against the flat earth. But then I dismissed it because I know that flat earthers will deny the existence of a southern celestial pole. But flat earthers still decide they're going to argue that with me, even though I said I'm not making that argument. They come and they tell me, well, the southern celestial pole doesn't exist. And he says in this case, I have to prove that the southern celestial pole exists in order to assert it, which I find amazing that flat earthers will tell you straight out that there's a North Pole. They agree there's a North Pole, but they will say that the southern celestial pole doesn't exist, even though the same evidence for a southern celestial pole is there for a northern celestial pole. The exact same evidence. They're perfectly willing to use the historical, journal entries and observations made by people in the past when it comes to the North Pole. But that same type of observational evidence that people south of the equator make about the southern celestial pole, they wish to dismiss, even though it's the exact same information. It's just, I find it amazing that they're perfectly willing to ignore the same standard of evidence just because it doesn't fit their agenda. I just wanted to, that's what this comment reminded me of. Then start with the curve as a foundational point. There's not a curve to be found. You know what? I'm stopping discussing whether or not there's a curve, because you can show a flat earth or a curve as many times as you want, and they'll still say that doesn't exist, even though you can just show it to them. Let's see. Oh, this one is more of an evolutionary question. Always looking for quits. Sergeant Doss. Why chimps never evolved? Chimps separated some 5.56 million years ago. Same line, separated to become people. Then Australopithecus, but chimps stayed chimps. Well, the fact is, chimps, they did start to divide. I think there are actually three or four subspecies of chimps that divided about 1 million years ago. So you can't say that chimps stayed chimps. They've actually evolved, but they're just, yeah, and they may have evolved even, other offshoots may have evolved even more and then died out. And so, we're still left with the ones that survived. It doesn't mean that no evolution happened. It just means that the ones that we have are the ones that survived. And yes, the chimps today are not the chimps things we evolved from. But the fact is, the current chimps that we have, the troglodyte. It's like a troglodyte something is like most scientific names, but a common chimp, the bonobos. But even of the common chimps, I think there are 3 or 4 subspecies of that because they are splitting amongst themselves due to different environmental influences. So to say that they haven't changed is just false. Let's see. And then there's this noise about human footprints next to dinosaur footprints, which is an old long since falsified claim. And evolutionary gaps. Of course, there are evolutionary gaps. There will always be evolutionary gaps. Let's see. Let me take a second to do something here, just because it's just something I feel like talking about. I'm just going to pull up Photoshop real quick. Excuse me while this does this thing. A lot of anti-evolutionists like to talk about there being gaps in evolution, and there will always be gaps, and it's actually just the nature of things. Let's go with this here. Do I have a color here? Let's go there. Okay. So excuse me while I do a little work here. Bonobos a sex machine. So let's see. Say we have, you have this. Let me make a bigger brush. You have this species here, and you have this species here, and you have this species here, and you have this species here. And people will claim that, hey, where's and let's say that the prevailing belief is that this is the primary, and then this is the order that they went through in evolution. Say this is the modern one right here. This is modern. And so someone says, well, there's a gap. I mean, how can you say that number 4 here evolved from number 3? Where's the transitional fossil of this guy right here? They'll say. And it's a legitimate question, because not everything gets fossilized. But there's obviously a gap there, and there's obviously a gap here, and there's obviously a gap here. And anti-evolutionists will say, well, you have no proof of evolution because you have holes, you have gaps between all of these areas. Well, over time, some digging happens, and all of a sudden this one is found. They find this one here, and maybe they find this one here, a transitional fossil between these here. Well, the anti-evolutionists will say, well, now where's this one? And where's this one? There's a gap there. Oh, and there's a gap here. And a gap there. Now there's even more gaps than there were before. Yes. So this kind of this gap argument is a false one, and it's a lazy one. because there will always be gaps. There's no guarantee in this world that a species is going to be, excuse me while I do a little work here, is going to be fossilized. It's just not the way things work. There's no 100% fossilization that happens. It's actually kind of rare. The fact that we have the fossils we have, yes, it's a God of the gaps argument. And the fact that we have the fossils we have is an amazing thing. But as time goes on, as construction happens, as erosion happens, of all sorts of environmental things happen, the few fossilized things out there that might be existing that we might be able to get to, they're degenerating, they're disappearing, and so there's always going to be gaps. And so this whole gap argument is just foolish, and it's just a false argument. Sorry, I just got that idea in my head, so I thought I'd just execute that thing there. Get back to where we were before. Mind the gap. That makes sense to you folks? That kind of thing. Have you heard that? Have you encountered that type of argument before? I find it's just one of the most frustrating things to deal with when it comes to science. I think it's just bad thinking. How's it going in the room over there? You guys are still going at it. Okay, cool. So let's move on to another comment. You can't. So this person here, Jason Wessel, says you can't believe the Bible and the ball model. The Bible says that the sun moves over 60 times and that the earth does not, period. You can't believe both. Read Isaiah, this guy think. Okay. It's obviously most people who believe in the Bible believe in a globe earth. You need to argue, Jason, you need to argue with other Bible believers and tell them that they can't believe in it because they do. Your own people don't agree with you. The vast majority of them don't agree with you. I don't happen to believe in the Bible. It's not my thing. It's not of any use to me, but to each his own. And so saying you can't believe in the Bible and the ball model doesn't actually affect me at all, because I don't believe in the Bible, and I understand that the globe reflects reality. How would the Bible read if it was written today? Probably, I don't know, a bunch of emojis and really weird text style shorthand. You guys like to break mics a lot. Lushan Burl. Oh, you're a flat earther, aren't you, Lushan? I don't think I've actually commented to you, but I've seen your comments online. You arguing with folks. So I'm curious what you have to say today. Oh, and one of my favorite comment on this to hear though is, he says sheep do what they're told. Lions think for themselves, which I find amazingly interesting from a person who is saying that the Bible is accurate. The Bible, at least the Christian Bible, where they refer to themselves as sheep, and that their leader is their shepherd. And then he says, sheep do what they're told, lions think for themselves. Well, if you're a Christian, you almost by definition are a sheep, because Jesus is your shepherd. So take that for what you will. Yes, today's Bible, there are superhero comics and movies. That's kind of true. So how could you, Joe Jack asks, how can you see the sun and the moon during the lunar eclipse of October 8th, 2014? Because I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked this one up, but I'm assuming, and I'm quite sure of this, that you can only see the sun and the moon at the same time during the eclipse, that either very near, just right before sunset, due to the way refraction happens at that low atmospheric angle, and right before sunrise, and not everywhere on the earth is that kind of thing visible. Christian went a research paper on interlocking mythologies. Interesting. Boy, yeah. At some point, if you're ever up in the Bay, Christian, we need to sit down and I'll buy lunch. So what was I saying? So yeah, it's completely possible to see both the sun and the moon during a lunar eclipse, because it's in very select areas just before or just around sunset that you can do it. So that's that, and the fact that you can't see it everywhere on the planet is also more indicative of the fact that the globe is true. And this is a kind of comments that really get on my nerves, and I have a feeling most of you don't have this experience. But this one here, I am an African, I'm a black man. How can a black person be an atheist? We Are you laughing?
Yes.
My wife heard me say that, and she started laughing in the other room. So how can a black person be an atheist? We are the most religious people on earth. I have never met a black person as an atheist. How? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Wow! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. How does this make sense on the face of it, folks? How is it? Why is it a question how a black person can be an atheist? Is there a? I'm curious. This YouTuber, if they think that black people have a special relationship with the divine, that or some type of genetic tendency that makes us have to be theists, because it outside of that, I can't see why he thinks it's not possible. It's like we're the most religious people on earth, but is that a good thing? I mean, I'm not gonna say I can't say whether or not it's actually true. We are the most religious people. I haven't done a poll, but to say that black people are the most religious people on the earth and I don't know if that is supposed to be a good thing, because I can also say that we've had some of the most difficult time dealing because of religion, much like Jewish people have with persecution because of religion. I think a religion was used as a carrot to keep people in line during slavery, with a promise of something of justice in the afterlife. You could deal with the lot you had in life if there was some type of promise that justice would happen at another time. And since I don't think it did, I think justice should have happened right then and there. So yeah, it's easy for a black person to be an atheist. Read the Bible and you're more likely to become an atheist right off the bat. Yeah. According to quantum mechanics, we are all the old sentence of according to quantum mechanics, and then add whatever you want to the end of that one. You can just make up whatever you want for according to quantum mechanics. And this one here from I'm Occupied 32 is interesting. How many have ever seen the moon in the daytime? How many have ever heard of the other side says theirs was missing? Burden of proof lies with those teaching the ball theory as fact. Way too many logical questions against it. Just accept it. This idea that there's this weird idea that the moon is only supposed to be seen at night, and I blame Minecraft. Because I've played it before. My son has played it, and for some reason, it's daytime, the sun is up. It's nighttime, the moon is up. And it seems there are a lot of people who think that the moon is only supposed to be out at night. And if you see it in the daytime, that's some type of proof that things are not as they seem. So yeah, the moon can be out in the daytime, people. I know I'm preaching to the the choir over here, but I'm Occupied 32. The moon can be out in the daytime. And how many have ever heard the other side say there is missing? No one says their moon is missing because people understand that it's okay for the moon not be there. That's why you never hear people going, "Hey, the moon was missing." It's because we know that sometimes there's a moon and sometimes there's not. So are there any more flat earthers? I don't know if there's any more flat earthers in the room. There was for a while, but they seem to have gotten quiet. So Carl's asking if I'm an actual teacher. If not, I should be. Send support to your cause from the United Kingdom. I am a martial arts teacher. I teach let's see, a 4 to 7-year-old and 7 to 12-year-old class on Thursdays and Saturdays. And then I teach applied self-defense to adults and special workshops and things like that, which I really love to do. I personally, as much as I enjoy teaching martial arts, I enjoy the applied self-defense stuff more because it is they're tools that people can use in their real life. And the fact is, people need to understand the kind of power and ability they have with the tools, with the body that they have. And I love helping people explore that. It's great. Let me see here. Let me quit sharing so you can have my face on the screen. No, Black Americans. I don't know what that was. But honestly, a few weeks ago, I was helping out in doing this self-defense workshop, and it was one of my funnest times showing this woman she had to be in her 60s, maybe in her mid 60s, showing her how to take someone my size down. It was awesome, and to take her through the motions and have her repeatedly take me down, and watch her kind of feel more and more empowered and more confident, because a lot of people, when we do these workshops, a lot of them want to work out with me because I'm usually one of the biggest guys in the room, and let's be honest, I tend to look like the fearsome thing that they have in their head. Oftentimes they say, pick a scenario, or what is something you fear when it comes to walking through life, self-defense. What are the things you're worried about? They think about being attacked by a big, scary looking black dude. They just do. That's what don't blame them. That's the vision that's out there, and so a lot of them want to try things out on me, or have me try things out on them, just so that they can kind of do something about that fear. If they can acclimate to it. So the fact that I was working with this woman, and I think I was showing her how to manipulate my spine by rotating my head on 3 axes. Instead of just people like to do a lot of chin work. People like to do a lot of work, but to show that rotating in 3 directions, you can get a lot of influence. Was awesome, and since I know how to fall and I can do it repeatedly, I was able to let her increase her energy on me to the point where she was taking me down fairly well, and it was great. I mean, I felt great knowing that I had showed her a tool that she didn't know she had. So yes, I teach. I don't teach science, except for like this and in science fairs and things like that. But I do communicate a lot, different ideas and a way to and different messages. So that's how I express it here. Let's see. Ooh, oh hey. Okay, so someone just hit one of these fancy buttons that like sends money. I have no idea how this stuff works. Thank you very much, DM9. But I have no idea what that setting is and how it happens, but cool. Thank you very much. I'm not asking people to send me money yet, because I have a plan in mind. I'm gonna probably do maybe the next week or so. I'm gonna put together a little Kickstarter campaign for something I'd like to do, and I hope maybe you all can contribute and you guys can help me achieve this goal. But I'm not asking for people to make donations because I'm doing this just because I enjoy it, and the clicks, they give me a little scratch every so often, and that's all I need. Let's see. Well, yeah, I'm not an expert witness. I work with expert witnesses in helping them craft their narrative for the courtroom. So someone had said I'm an expert witness in courtrooms, and I'm not an expert witness myself. But so a lawyer or a law firm or a client will hire us, a company will hire us, and maybe they have experts that are they're kind of dry. They have a story that they want to tell, but they want to figure out how to express it in a way that people understand it. We help them craft their narrative in a way that people understand it. That gets the message across, either through like mock trials, mock juries, training tutorials, things like that help craft the story. So the fact that a lot of us in the office, we have a lot of people who are good at talking, good expressing ideas. There's a lot of chatter that happens. It's really fun to get in a room with a bunch of people that know how to express different ideas, a different level of expertise, and hash out these things and come up with a narrative that then I and someone else will then turn into either an animation or just a series of slides that will help walk people through it. So that's what I do. I'm not an expert witness myself, but I work with expert witnesses. Let's see. Yes, people are talking about theories. People don't know what theory is. Blah, 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 blah. I get so tired of people talking about, it's just a theory. It makes no sense to me. I think someone asked what I was my Kickstarter. So what I'm considering doing, it's come up a lot. At least from flat earthers, people saying, why has no one ever circumnavigated the poles? And have you been to the North Pole? Have you been to the South Pole? Have you done these things? How do you know this stuff is real? And even though it's happened before, they don't believe it. But there is a company that is actually going to be circumnavigating the poles later this year. They have a flight going out in October, I believe, that's going to be circumnavigating both poles. And if it is all possible, I would like to get on that flight and chronicle it. I'll make a series of videos showing the whole process, if it's at all possible to live stream from different points. I don't know if it's possible to get a satellite uplink during the flight, but it would be great. And then organize a way for people like Wolfie or anybody who has access to transponders, to get for me to signal out, send out a ping, just to update so people can track me live and plot. You guys on this end could be able to plot it on both a globe and on a FE map, and just see how that comes across. So if it's all possible, that's what I would like to do. So I guess got to figure out how to send that message out for you folks and see if it's possible. Yes, there's not much internet at the poles, but the plane itself, and if it's possible, I don't know if it's possible to get like a satellite phone on there without disrupting the aviation, but or at least a satellite internet link, so then I can ping my phone repeatedly, so people can track it. Martial art, silat is the martial art, Indonesian martial art. It's it's kind of a kung fu offshoot, mixture of kind of a Shaolin style with Indonesian penkat silat. Like the school is PGB Pesantren Gerak Badan. It's in Indonesia. Let's see. Yeah, Jesse, it's sacrilege to say for a lot of people, but I'm more in Jackie Chan's camp than I am in Bruce Lee's camp. Bruce Lee was awesome, but filmmaking was done differently then, and uh, Jackie evolved the the medium in a way that, in much in the same way that Bruce Lee did, but then he took it to another level, not necessarily in terms of form and power that Bruce Lee had, because Jackie is a performer, not a fighter. But he knew how to translate his abilities to the screen in a way that I don't think Bruce Lee ever uh, figured out how to do, because he didn't get a chance. Uh, that's just the way that goes. Let's see. Oh, is Lushenborough still there? Lushenborough, do me a favor. Can you ask what, without saying, show me the curve? Where's the bendy water? Anything like that? Is there one question that you have? A flaw in the globe system, system that you have right off the top of your head that you would like addressed? Why does this happen? Do you have one of those questions? Drunken Master 2. Yeah, it's the hot coals fight, Stephanie. Yeah, Drunken Master 2. That's crazy. And the guy he was fighting had this amazing kicks. I don't know what that gentleman's name was, but he was a great fighter. Bendy Waters Raindrop. So, Lushenborough, if you have a question, pictures are not first-hand facts. So please, if you have a question, ask it. Like I said, not where's the curve, not bendy water, anything that those hyperbolic claims. Just something that I could just speak to, if you have one. Is in the sun, is Venus and sun setting in the northwest tonight, not west. How is it? You do understand that the Earth is tilted on its imaginary axis, right? And that throughout the year there's a kind of procession of the spin. Do you understand that? I'm not sure if you do. So the fact is, it doesn't stay, straight up and down with everything over the equator. So it's east west at all times. It's actually at that tilt, and so its orientation to the sun that it changes, and thus you get it rising more north parts of the year, more south parts of the year. As you get closer to the summer in the northern hemisphere, the sun starts to rise and set more north. And then when it becomes summer for the southern hemisphere, it starts to rise and set more south. Do you understand that? I'm not saying do you accept it, but do you understand that as an answer? But I know, but I know where the line is opposed to my position, season to season. I know it changes, but literally almost north tonight. No, I don't think so. It's literally almost north. Most likely, you just have your directions mixed up. But how about this? I'll try my best to. It's not going to be much different tomorrow than it is tonight. Take a look at it then. I'll look at it tomorrow and see where it's setting, and we'll talk. Try to talk about that on Sunday morning. Somebody. Let's see. Have I seen the Childish Gambino video called "This Is America"? Yes. I first time I saw it, I watched it maybe 5 times in a row, and then I watched it several other times as I watched other people's reaction video. I thought it was an amazing. I call it the Get Out of music videos. I don't know if you saw the movie Get Out, but there are so many things within it that can be taken from it some are strictly up to interpretation, but other things were obviously put in there for a reason. And so it's a music video with layers. It's a rap music video. It's even almost like a ghetto, like trap music video that is layered and nuanced. Yeah. How often can you say that? And Jay Green, hey, what's up? How long have you been on, by the way? I haven't even checked. Ooh, crap, an hour and a half. Sweet. Okay. Let's okay, so you can't believe pictures for anything. We're just talking. I can't prove it to you either way. I actually see both. I feel them in the simulation more than anything. You can feel you're in the simulation, but yeah, if the simulation is so good that you can't tell you whether or not you're in a simulation, then doesn't matter. I don't know. Simulation talk seems like an utter waste of time. It's an utter waste of time, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it'd be funny to have a AE map behind. That would be hilarious. Listen, I try not to be mean. I just say he Lesson bro. Are you male or female? I keep saying he. It's just by default. That's just the way I speak, and I apologize if you're not male. But said thanks for not being mean. I acknowledge that I have a very mean streak in me. I can be quite abusive when pushed, and so it's taken me years of discipline to get that in check. I used to be very much a hothead. You get in all sorts of fights when you're younger, but as you get older, you have to start getting some responsibility of these things. And the first thing I had to do, I had to figure out real quickly, is how to deal with my tendency to slice people up. And I will never claim to be nice. I'm not a nice person. I can be kind. I can be considerate and not mean, but at times. But it takes an effort, and it. Thanks for calling out, because I try my best not to be mean. But I don't know, any of you have noticed online that I can go from 0 to 100 real quick on somebody that does the same to me. I give what I get. If you come to me cool, I come at you cool. You come at me hot, I go back at you hot. Yeah. So you're being cool to me, I'm cool to you. I know the earth is round because rainbows. The whole convallium. Let's see. Well, you say I'm like the Hulk on Valium. I think it helps that I've at least since, I don't know, probably since high school, maybe just out of high school. I've always been kind of like a fairly big guy, big voice, big personality, just physically big, and so I've never felt the need to like. I call it big dog syndrome. The big dogs, they don't need to bark at everybody all the time because they already know they're big and they're fine. Uh, it's the small dogs that have to prove things, and so they tend to have personalities. Again, people with what I call the small dog personality, they have to prove what they are, and so they snap at people because they have to prove what they are. But I've always been, the type of person that's, comfortable with who he is, his size. I've always been, a person in a room that could command a little bit of authority and attention. So I never felt I needed to cultivate a personality of aggression and that way. But it's there because when I was younger, when I was young and small, I gained a tendency to snap at people, but I put it in check once I started to come into my own. Let's see. Why are you calling Josh racist? What did Josh say? Lesson. What did Josh say? I didn't see it. Or are you just throwing it out there because it's an easy accusation to make? I'm not saying anything up there. I get my fair number of. Did I have? Let's see. Did I get any particularly racist one this week? Can't remember. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm going to do a little quick search. Ones I got. Excuse me here while I pull up a couple things, because I usually try to pull out at least one or two of the more inventive bigot comments I get a week. And I always get a few. Let's see which one I have here. Let's talk amongst yourselves as I organize things. Not that one. Not that one. Oh, there's always these. Yeah, the ones that. Let's see about this one. Let's see. Yeah, there were a couple this week. I think I might have gotten rid of them. Yeah, I think I got rid of them. It's amazing the kind of bigotry that comes out of these folks, though. Lushenborough, are you still there? I have a question for you. It's not a flat earth question, but I have a question for you. Let me know if you're still there. Just do a quick ping. I'm curious as to what, how do you, who was that one ass had that would nonstop a silly moon hunks crap and then turn it to I'm not sure. Yeah, I get a few of them. Alias. Oh yeah. I can't remember who you're talking about, but straight Sith male. So Lushenborough, I'm curious. What do you think of the fact? Well, I won't call it a fact. It seems I'm observing. Yeah, I know who you're talking about, Christian. That there's a lot of bigotry in the flat Earth movement. How do you respond when you see someone who agrees with you, that is, say, a flat earther, that that takes it to a level of racism or misogyny or just a bigotry or how does that affect you? And do you call them out? Do you just let it pass? How do you see that reflecting on you and yours? Because it bugs me. Every so often, someone will be on my page defending me, calling people some heinous names, and I'll tell them, dude, stop defending me, because I don't want you on my side. But I'm curious to how that stuff comes across to you and how it affects you, if it does at all, or if you agree with it. Anything? Thinking about it? Okay. Answer me when you get a chance, Leshan. All right, I'll leave that there. I'm going to pull up another comment. Let's see here. Sometimes you get this lunatic that's anti. Yeah, no, those are the worst. And what I find amazing is that every so often I will get someone who will drop the N-bomb on someone in defense of me, and I'm like, what? How does that work? How can you support me, support the things I'm talking about, and then call a flat earther you know, the N word. And I'm saying that because I don't want this video to get flagged. So only reason, normally I would say it because I don't like saying the N word. But just for the purpose of not getting flagged for offense by YouTube censorship. So I'm curious. I find it amazing, and I block them as well. People think that I only block people that don't agree with me, but the fact is, if you're heinous and I see it, a lot of times I don't see it. I will delete it and I'll block you. I don't need you on my side. Stay off my side. Mike Lemons, I can see why flat earthers have to deny gravity, but what do they gain from denying that rockets work in outer space? They have to deny that rockets work in outer space because they want to deny the existence of outer space. If we have rockets that go to outer space, that means space exists. So if we say if there's no way for rockets to work, then rockets must be fake. And why are rockets fake? Well, because space doesn't exist. They want space to not exist. That's my Jesse, you're starting a shift at 9:47. Where you work, Jesse? I know you're taking off. Come back Sunday morning. I think I'm gonna try to go live at 7 a.m. Bay Area time. Yes. Yeah, and of course, they have to deny gravity because, because gravity causes things to be shaped. Very few, and it hasn't happened in a while, but I don't know. Are there any flat earthers out there still? Make comments or ask questions. Yeah. Are there still any flat earthers making the Earth is accelerating upwards argument? That used to be something that people were saying. Mona KW, hey, what's up? That's funny. Because I always found it the oddest of the arguments that the Earth is accelerating upwards at 9.81 meters per second squared, universal acceleration, right? And they don't say it much anymore. But what I always found super interesting is the fact that they're not taking in account the fact that it's measurable that objects at really high elevations, they have a slightly different acceleration rate because gravity is different. There is a different acceleration rate over different parts of the Earth. 9.81 meters per second squared is the generally accepted value, but it's not exact, and it changes due to the gravimeters. It changes due to the amount of earthly mass that's under the object, the different parts. So that universal acceleration doesn't explain why it's actually not universal. Why is there so many different values? Why is it 9.81246 here and 9.8143 here if it's all universal acceleration? Let's see. Still with flat earth. Yes, anarchy. It's different in all sorts of places around the world. So saying universal acceleration never works. So I think that's probably why they stopped saying it. But it used to be a big thing. Dun, 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 dun. That's it. So I'm gonna. And yeah, magnetism. I find it very interesting that they try to say magnetism controls the tides, yet somehow it's magic magnetism. Leschenborough, for magnetism to control the tides, it has to be no, that's still diamagnetism, not direct magnetism. Stop. Somehow it affects the tides, yet nothing else. Like it affects water different than everything else. Somehow magnetism affects water differently. It makes no sense. There's a magnetic field that's strong enough to affect the tides, yet You know, it doesn't affect all our electronic gadgets when we go someplace where it's high tide. Why can you go to someplace that's high tide and not all of a sudden why is this compass moving in a different direction? Why are these things changed? Why don't we have readouts that show that? And why does it coincidentally? Why is there another magnetic? What if it's magnetism? Why is there another bulge on the other side of the Earth directly from the moon? How does magnetism explain that? Sorry, I got a text from a client here. Okay. I'll follow up that in a minute. Let's see. So other science is a father rest on long, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm resisting diving into the 200 proofs of Eric Dubé. One, because, oh my God, the video is so incredibly boring. That video is incredibly boring. So it's really difficult to get through. Yes, water moves from magnet saltier, the better. Like I said, it's special magnetism because it doesn't affect anything else but the water. And that doesn't exist in our experience. You're coming up with some new special property to explain what we already have explained with gravity, and you're calling it magnetism. This special magnetism has all the properties of gravity, but you just don't want it to be gravity. It's amazing, and it's all the properties of gravity. But gravity has to not exist. And like I said, it still doesn't explain why there's a high tide on the other side of the Earth, directly opposite where the high tide is by the moon. Can you explain that on a flat plane? Why, if you have a flat plane, Earth, and you have the moon over this area here, you have a flat plane, Earth, and you have a moon over this area right here, and because of its magnetism, Leschenborough, according to your theory, because of its magnetism, it's causing the water to rise over here. Okay, why? I understand you don't know, but do you recognize that though there's a high tide over here, directly on the other side of the Earth over here, there's another high tide going on, and it follows just the opposite side of where the moon is. Magnetism doesn't explain that. And a flat, plain Earth doesn't explain that. But a globe model does. The globe model and the spinning Earth and a moon orbiting the Earth explains it perfectly. That's the thing. Now, if you don't understand that, I understand. I can get that, but do understand that you're proposing something that has a big gaping hole in it, and you're trying to substitute something that fits it perfectly with something with a big gaping hole in it. Yeah, I'm going to try to do 2 live streams a week. I just got to figure out what schedule to do it on. Why did I just do that? I don't know. I'm going to try to do 2 a week. It might end up being like a Wednesday night and a Sunday morning. I got to figure out a way of working it around my my work schedule, family life, and things like that. But I'm going to try to do 2 a week. That's my goal. And then within that time, still produce other videos. One of the reasons I'm doing this here is because I wanted to take a break from producing some of the other videos. It's, that Morgau video was long-winded and just trudgery. And so I was like, I want to take a break from making specific videos. I am looking into doing videos, at least one video on that. It's like a mechanical engineer that would draw on a whiteboard and trying to explain how plane paths shouldn't work on a globe, and he's supposedly like using physics, and actually he's doing pretty good physics, but there's some very basic fundamental physics that he was ignoring. That one's being referenced a lot. I can't remember what that guy's name is. like I said, he always draws on a whiteboard and explains that the spin of the Earth should cause planes to not be able to land correctly and things like that. So I'm going to be making one on him, at least on one of his videos, because it's a basic fundamental. Mullen, is that it? Is that his name? Yeah, yeah, Mullen. I'll be doing one on him because it's I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's well put together, except for he's doing kind of like first year. He's making like a first year lab, physics lab error, and it just carries through it. Everything else he's saying makes complete and utter sense, except for the fact that he makes this very basic error and assumes it through the entire thing, and it just messes everything else up. So I'm going to do one on that one. And yeah, Eric Dubé's 200 proofs are just so stupid, so inane, and so boring. I just don't know. That's gonna tax my calm a lot. Let's see. I don't know if it's scientific to say that, but it is. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna we've been coming up on 2 hours here, so I'm gonna do a couple more. Yes, God, I've been live for like 2 hours, and I'll do a little bit more. Dude, Jason. I am not watching the Morgiles 4.5 hour video. No, it's not happening. Not with that voice and not with that lack of sense. It's just not going to happen. Thank you, Carolyn. I'd say I love you too, but I don't really know you that much. But yeah, I love you guys. Yeah. So let's see. There's a couple more things that people came up with that I think are very indicative. This one here. Let me just show you guys this one here. Yes. Yeah. How many times can you say it's irrelevant in 4.5 hours, dude? How many times can you say it's irrelevant? Dude, it's relevant. This one here. This was a comment that was made, and I agree with it, on the D-Marble video where he says that he sees the sun in the clouds. Remember, the sun is, according to his video, you could see the sun under the clouds. He's in a flight, or whoever it is flying in a plane, and the sun is under the clouds because it's a sunset and it's going through. But that's a different thing. And there's this, and I'm saying this just so if anybody says this to you, feel free to use this. Flat earthers have done high altitude balloon experiments. Skiba did one and completely proved that the Earth was curved with his video unintentionally. But there's a ton of high altitude balloon footage out there, higher than any possible cloud. Right? You see these they get these balloons are above clouds. So we're not talking about rockets, we're talking about balloons. Balloons are flying higher than the tallest clouds. Now, if you claim that the sun is below the clouds, that means that a hot air balloon, a high altitude balloon has the ability to fly higher than the sun. And if we have a high altitude balloon can fly higher than the sun, then definitely we can have planes fly higher than the sun. Yet we've never once flown over the sun. Someone should be able to fly over the sun if you can fly high enough to be under it. It's like, oh, is it moving too fast? You can't catch up to it? Well, then start from the other direction and have the sun go under you. It the fact that someone like Marble can make such an asinine claim and not have thought it through, uh, I would say it's amazing. But obviously, he didn't think it through. He looked at it and said, "I believe my senses. The sun is below me." Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense any other way. But yeah, it's so that's I find that position hilarious. Uh, let's see. Gary's back. Let's try one. Let's see what other comments I have here that I wanted to go over. Oh, this one was massive. I don't know if I have time to go through this one. This one was way too big. And I think my family wants to see me in the other room. Let's see. Share my screen. Share my screen. Let's go. What else we got going on, gentlemen and ladies? So small. Don't know how big the plane is. Clouds would vaporize. You know what? That might be something to. I mean, you have to. Who is it? Digital Jedi Master. Okay. To distribute a flat Earth video, everybody gets a chance to look at it, and do an MST 3K style video. Just just kind of riffing on it would be fun. Only because the fact that a number of us are together would spread the pain out, the deep hurting, as it were, so that it would be a little more tolerable. Let's see. The flat Earth kids get beat up at school, only if their parents beat them because they're homeschooled. So, how long is Eric Dubé's 200 proofs skeptic? Is that the 6 hour one? It's not 6 hours, is it? Which one is 6 hours? Because my son started watching that. It's 2 hours. Okay. There's one of his is like 6 hours long, and but my son started watching it. I was like, and because he just wanted to laugh at it. He's I love my son because he's obviously my kid. We started watching. Started watching the 200 proofs, and every so often he would just get up and just storm out of the room and just come back and just tearing his hair out, and he would pontificate to me why what Eric Dubé said was so stupid. And he was he was 12 at the time, and he was explaining to me how stupid Dubé was. It was hilarious, and I was like, "Is that what I sound like when I talk?" It was just like me preaching to myself in a higher pitched voice. It was hilarious. Yeah, I think that thing is 6 hours long, man. You have to figure something out. But yeah, might be able to do it. We can do it MST 3K style where you do, 20 minutes of it, and then you have a commercial break, and then during that commercial break, you skip 20 minutes of it, and then you go back in. Birds shouldn't be able to fly. Fish shouldn't be able to swim. Yeah, amazing. But seriously, Team Skeptic will figure something out. Yeah, maybe split it up into videos that can then be hosted by each. The first hour goes on yours, the second hour goes on mine, the third hour goes on Wolfie's, for whatever. Spread it out, just to spread the love. That'll be interesting. Okay, let's see. No, it's like, okay, so let's talk about, you'll be streaming on Sunday. What time are you streaming on Sunday? Because I was thinking about streaming on Sunday, but maybe I'll just join you. What time are you streaming on Sunday? Team Skeptic. I'm planning on going to see Avengers Infinity War at 11:15 my time. So yeah, I'm gonna see. I got to see it in IMAX because it was shot in IMAX, so I'm taking the fam to go see that. So, what time are you streaming on Sunday? 1 p.m. Central, either after you or around. Yeah, so that's. I will be. We may not be able to do it this Sunday, but I'll pop back in. I'm probably going to do it really early just for the people across the pond, and then maybe I see 11:15 and gets me back here at 2. So probably mid afternoon for me, which is like 3 p.m. or something like that, Pacific. But do it whenever you're going to do it, and if I get back, I can hop in. But we should seriously talk about doing a Kings of Comedy / Mystery Science Theater / Riff Tracks version of that. I think that'd be hilarious. Painful, but hilarious. No, I'm not on a bot, just a regular atheist. Someone had made a comment that I wanted to go on, but I can't remember what it was. Scratch that. Okay, cool. Eschenborough, my house. It's yeah. Okay, you're fine. Cool. Okay. Anything else? We're getting up here in time. So, anybody have any direct questions? I don't know if you have any. Leschenborough, you're the only one left on here. That's I like how you're don't know how to spell retarded. That was funny. It's always funny when people try to insult someone and they misspell retarded. We ordinary public can effectively kind of that's going on online. Welcome to contribute. It's a good question, Nick Ruler, creator. What can we do to? Sometimes, if I had the answer, it would be done by now. Honestly, I think clear, direct countering of their positions, civil discussion. Let them be the crazy foaming out at the mouth person. But calling out, what they say for what it is. Call it bullshit when it's bullshit. But I think there's a difference between saying that what someone is saying is stupid, and saying that they are stupid. And I think people tend to they have their little sides, they have their camps, and when you attack someone personally, people rally to them. They rally to them because they're being attacked personally. So if you can do it without attacking them personally, it's not easy. I know I resort to that sometimes, but I try to never attack personally on camera, or at least I don't hit first. But yeah, so try to be civil about it. But also spread the word. I mean, honestly, I don't know how many subscribers Team Skeptic has right now. I don't know how many Wolfie has. I don't know how many Sly has, but I think it's a crime. I think I have more than them, and I think it's a crime that I do. Honestly, they need to be spread far and wide more. And I'm part of the problem, because I'm also not the type of person that goes out and promotes other people's channels. That's never been my thing, but I think it's something that we should do, so that people that there's enough varied voices out here attacking these from different angles, that it doesn't need to be like, hey, this is the flat earth person, or this is the anti-flat earth person. We all bring something completely different to the table, and I think we need to spread that out, because the way I deliver something may appeal to some people, but the way Sly delivers something appeals to another. Like the how Team Skeptic kind of gets into the granular aspects of science appeals to me. A lot of people are probably just like, oh, so boring. But I love that kind of stuff. But some people it's not for. And the same thing with Wolfie. I like the fact that he just works with stuff. That appeals to me. So I think we need to, let people know that there's different ways. It's like a flat earther makes a statement that is stupid on its face. I may go after it because it breaks the rules of critical thinking. It just shows flawed thinking. Um, Skeptic may go after it because it shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how the science works. Then Wolfie may come at it because practically in the real world we can see that that's not how it happens. Here, I'm just going to put it. I'm going to put one of those things on the table, and we're going to do it, and we're going to see how it works. And so I think promoting all those voices, and not only that, some of you, OMG GMO, I think is one. There's a couple others that I have that are regulars on my threads that are really well spoken. At least they're very well written in the comment threads, and I think would make really good content producers if they were to take that and find a way of applying it. Maybe they don't want to be on camera. Maybe their voice is weird and they don't think it's work, but they know how to write. They know how to write the facts, and they should, find a way of either doing some type of slideshow with music in order to put those facts out there, because their voice needs to be heard by some people other than just on another YouTuber's comment thread. So I say more voices out there. So that's a long-winded way of answering the question on what we can do. But that's just my, sometimes I talk. So that's the way it goes. Let us see. Let's see, anything else? Anti-videos are fun, right? Yes, anti-videos are very entertaining. Lesson Burrow, Chew, how about your brainwash? Yeah, okay. Are you talking to me, Skeptic, about what on Sunday? I don't know. Nothing in particular. I haven't seen anything that's come out lately. I've been deadline driven, and so I haven't really been looking at things online as much. So I don't know if there's a trend going on out there right now that needs to be addressed. Blue Marble's in the house. Oh, Blue Marble is going to be there on. Hey, Blue Marble, what's up? Okay, so now I see where you are. So I gotta find Blue Marble here. How do I go to your page? So Blue Marble. Wait a minute. You're in England. What time is it, dude? What time is it where you are? Okay, I'm going to subscribe to you right now just so I can keep you in my brain there. Oh, Delano TV. Oh, you did a video on Delano TV. I have to check that out, Blue Marble. Okay, let me be honest. I have avoided going after Delano TV because after going after D Marble, I didn't want to be just like a black guy that's attacking other black guys. It's like there's let's be honest. There's a protective aspect that black men have for each other usually, and so just thinking it may not be right. It may be a little bit bigoted on our part, but the idea of me kind of making a name for myself by taking down black flat earthers. It's just one of those things I wanted to avoid. But man, Delano TV, so bad, so bad. But like I said, I didn't want to be that guy because would look bad. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Unknown Jodo, that when they go after, but yeah, I know. It almost it almost feels like black on black crime if I just like if I just beat up on these young brothers for their ignorance. It's you know I know it's not the right way of thinking that I should go at it, but yeah. See, I'm not perfect. It's a completely that's not proper critical thinking, and that's not really logical, but yeah. Honestly, that is my reason for not going after Delano. And even when I made that video on a Cornelius Jones the other day, someone sent me and it was good, and I hadn't talked about religion in a while. Part of me was going, "Do you have to go after the brother? Why do you have to be the one going after this brother?" But I used Christian Wentz says I used to debate a guy wearing a Darth Vader outfit. What happened to him? Okay, that was the guy wearing the Darth Vader outfit. Is this? Let me see if I can find. Let me find it in another window real quick. From one of my videos. It's actually one of my first videos. So let's go here. Just gonna do this real quick so people understand what I'm talking about here. We're gonna get infinity going in a second. All right. So this gentleman, he used to go by the name of Dark Hater. And he was a early YouTuber, podcaster. Let's see. It's one of my first. Funny thing happened. Funny thing. That's what it actually might be my first video. That's this video here. What happened on the moon? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's see. This gentleman here. Do I have him? He'll show up in a second. But his name was Dark Hater, and he's got several names. First, he was Dark Hater. Actually, yeah, I'm not finding it. He was Dark Hater, and then he was Haterazzi, and then he was Mr. Gates, which is actually his real name. But I originally met him under the name Iceberg Slick, and he is out of Las Vegas, and he is actually the producer of the music that I play. He and I are tight. We've known each other for 20 years or so, and we didn't debate so much as we just disagreed on. So we're good friends, and so we would just disagree. And he had his podcast, and I would help produce that. And then every so often he'd have me on because he knew it'd be a topic I disagreed with him on. And then he's actually the reason I started doing videos in the first place. Is that he mentioned me in a podcast about moon landing. He was talking about moon landing denial, how he didn't believe in moon landing, and so he mentioned me not agreeing with him, and so he had a lot of listeners. So to counter that, I started my first video, which was he had suggested the video. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon, because he thought that was a legitimate video. And so I watched it, and that was my first real debunking video, was going after that, just so I could show it to him. So yeah, he's still around. He still does things under Haterazzi, but he's older. He has a life, so he does a lot of production in Vegas, in the art scene over there. Great guy. I still disagree with him a lot. He's just a natural conspiracy theorist. He's a natural contrarian, but I don't even think he's not even a flat earther. He's just contrarian. But he did produce the music that I use for my intro, the music that I use for my outro. Almost every song that you've never heard of that I seem to play is like, I never heard that song before. It's most likely one of his. Because back in the day, the late 90s, he used to make mixtapes, literal, cassette mixtapes, and he'd hand them out to friends. And I have a couple that I converted over to digital. So I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that has digital copies of those songs anywhere, because I think even he's lost most of them. So that's one reason why I continue to use that music, is because I know no one else has it, and I have permission from him to use it, and so I don't get any copyright problems because the music doesn't exist as far as anyone else is concerned. So that's what happened to him. I was at some point I'll probably have him on it. I haven't actually talked to Iceberg in a while. Have him on and see where he is on things. Great guy, hilarious, and wicked wit. So let's see. I think that's how we ran came across. Is that how we came across each other, Christian? Were you arguing with him at one point, or what? I can't remember. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. All right. If there's any other, just one more round of questions anybody might have before I sum this up. It's been 2 hours and 22 minutes. Let's make it an even 2.5 hours. So we'll stop in a few minutes. And it's getting hot on this back porch. I'm on this back porch. You can see I'm starting to sweat. Let's see. Sorry, your late stream. I've been on it for a while. Yeah, it seems, I don't know. It has the moon hoax fad disappeared and just been absorbed by the flat Earth movement. It used to be there was a lot of that moon stuff going on, and then and that seems to pretty much disappeared, and it seems to be all flat Earth now. I mean, flat Earth is kind of like a subset as far as I'm concerned of moon landing. I've never met a flat Earther that believed the moon landing happened. So that's the way that goes. The next videos I'm planning on doing. What do I have on my slate? I'm going to do one on Brian Mullen's video of debunking, where he says that the rotation of the Earth would cause planes not to be able to, travel the way they do. So I'm going to do one on that. Let's see. I'm scripting a series of small videos that I call comment thread science, which are just small shorts, maybe no more than 5 minutes, explaining concepts that people don't seem to be able to get right on don't seem to be able to get right on the comment threads. And let's see, who would win, Little Jamurai, Usagi? Well, it depends on who's writing the story. Little Jamurai always wins if I'm writing the story. But Yojimbo's pretty badass. Let's see. Let's see what else do I have going. I have a list of things. I just have to kind of see which one piques my interest most. Because the last thing I want to do is be bored doing this stuff. If I start to get bored doing it, I'm gonna stop. So I only pick topics that pique my interest, and I think I can do it in an interesting way. I don't want to make boring videos. I don't want to make videos just for the sake of making them. Oh, and thanks, Team Skeptic, for the little donation. Cool. Thanks. To Delano. Somebody suggest, drop me a link, either direct message or email. Email is GreaterSapien@gmail. That is like a benchmark Delano video. Like this is him at his pinnacle. Like, does he have uh uh like a free bird? Like, this is his jam. Like, this is him thinking he's at his best. Like, there's like that one D Marvel video I did, which was the one he did with the phone call. One reason I did that one, someone had sent it to me, but is that you could just tell he thought he nailed it. He thought he just stuck the landing on that one. Sorry for hitting the microphone. He thought he just stuck the landing on that one, and it was so wrong. And so that's why I went after that one as opposed to any of the other nonsense ones, because he was so proud of himself for that one. Yes, I know. D Marble has he's got this kind of homophobic thing when it comes to me. Some reason he thinks calling me Homo sapien is an insult, because I was going to say because he's 14, but that would be an insult to Blue Marble, because Blue Marble's 14, and obviously has more sense than that, because he's a child, and he thinks calling people gay is somehow like a badass insult. I guess he makes himself feel better by doing that. But calling me a Homo sapien is not an insult. Um, so it's amazing. I have found it funny that people have sent me videos of his every so often, and I'll look through them, and whenever he references me, someone will send me a link to the video, and it's like I'm his Voldemort or something. He refuses to say my name. It's pretty hilarious. You think Delano is joking? Well, yeah, his style is pretty over the top, but I'm just curious if there's a particular video of his that you think is like his pinnacle achievement that would be worth my time. Yeah, it is amazing that so many people are that kind of personally insulting, bigoted, homophobic, and yet there's so much about God, and they will sit there. There's somebody that's on my channel all the time that hey, my son's peeking in, that will constantly be talking about, suck my balls, do this, you dirty this and that. Read the Bible. Yeah, it's like they go straight from these really personal, sexual, kind of twisted insults to read the Bible. It's because you're a minion of Satan and you're afraid of this. Like, dude, the projection is amazing. Yeah. Yes. I do think that a lot of the people who would decide that they're going to go after someone because they're supposedly gay or effeminate or whatever, it's because they're closeted in some way. Team Skeptic, what have you been called racist for? What have you said that people try to claim that you're racist about? Yeah, Homo sapiens are humans. No, that's the thing, is that what's his name? Daryl thinks, hey, what's up, Homo sapien? And he thinks that you're supposed to be like, ooh, burn. Anyway, let's see. I'm just curious as to what people are accusing you of, Team Skeptic. But maybe we can talk about some of that on Sunday. It's a more free flowing conversation if we can talk about that voice to voice. So just the fact that you're talking to a black person makes you you're criticizing a black person makes you racist. Yeah, that's some victim stuff right there, man. It's not the fact that you're attacking a black person that makes you racist. It's the fact that you're white. That was a joke, people. Now go back and sample that video and put that out. GreaterSapien says all white people are racist. Go ahead, make that video. All right. Let's see. It's getting late. I'm getting punchy. Let's see. Yeah. So let's figure. Hey man, are you talking to me? Am I religious? Is this fishing, crabbing, and yabbing? Are you asking if I'm religious? Are you just now meeting me? Because no, I'm not. I was raised in a religious house, but oh, you're killing me there, Christian. But no, I'm not religious. I mean, yeah, I'm focused when it comes to certain things. The closest I get to religion is like family. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Yo, what's up, Homo sapien? Thank you, thank you. Uh, cool. Okay. It is 10:31. I'm going to start to. I'm going to sign off on this thing. Blue Marble. Let's see. Let's see. What time is it? I'm going to be going on the air Sunday morning, 7 a.m. my time. I think that's +8 GMT, right? So that makes it what for you guys? So figure that one out. I'll put a notice up tomorrow stating it just so people will be prepared. But I think I'll do an early one just to have conversations with you folks over there. I'll come up with something. It's not going to be as long as this, maybe an hour. It's Sunday. I got stuff to do. There's yard work to do, and my wife's probably going to. Oh, it's also Mother's Day. Did you just take a screenshot right there of the moment GreaterSapien realized his ass is in trouble for forgetting about Mother's Day right there. Just take a screenshot. Go back about 40 seconds. It's gonna be hilarious. That's the moment right there when his marriage collapsed. Click. Yeah, see? Yeah, it's Mother's Day. So things might change. Things might change. No promises now because I just realized that. So cool. Anyway, folks, it's been great. It's been fun. It's been great fun. And yeah, later. So thanks a lot, folks. I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to put this up online. If you have any more comments, please attach them to this video. I will try to adjust them on my next one. Suggestions for future topics as well will be greatly appreciated. And for the first time, I don't think I've ever said this before in any previous video because it's never been one of these things, but I want to try to encourage this more so we can get more done. So if you like what you heard, if you enjoy my videos, hit the subscribe button. It's over here or some noise. I don't know how they do it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get a notification when I put up something new. And we'll see you in the future. So did I do that right? All right, folks. Thank you very much. Take care. I'm out. Peace.